what she wanted to do. So y'all need to stop y'all pick Mishas. That's what I call y'all. Things came from the silver. Y'all gotta stop that. Stop attacking this woman every time she decide what she want to do for her life, because that's her life, and she gonna do it her way. And for y'all in the chat being smart, talking about is she watching Row of the Night? Hell no, she not watching it. Why would she want to watch that? Are you watching? Then that's what you should be worried about. Don't worry about how she doing her thing. Let this woman do her thing, okay? She been through enough. We all seen it. We all watched it. Let's stop faking and pretending that we don't know why she said he couldn't come to the party. Let's not do that. Now, that's how I felt about the show last night. But you look great. I was very happy about all your possibilities, even though they ain't showing them all chat. We already know you bossing up. They can cut it. They can leave it on the flow. We see it all the time. You is a boss. Dawn is a boss. We love Dawn. Okay, so we already know what you're doing. That
Yeah.
little cutting and snipping and leaving stuff on the flow. Chad, we already know. Okay? So you keep doing your thing, and
Oh,
we're
you
gonna
know what?
keep being here with you, and we're gonna keep on loving you, okay? And that's it.
And
Yeah.
I appreciate that, and I love you guys. And I think that what we're running into is there are people who I think it's
Mm-hmm.
layered. I think it's multi-layered, right? I think there are some people that are starting to watch the show who aren't privy to everything that has transpired on the show via
Right.
internet and via real life, right? Um, and so they're coming in on the back or tail end, right? And they don't understand. I think part of that is that, and I think another part of it is, like you said, I think
Mm-hmm.
you said the silver said
Mm-hmm.
pick
Pygmies.
me's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, and it's one of those things where I'll tell you this out the gate, even like when I first started doing Love and Marriage Huntsville, there were people who would DM me all the time and say that I was wrong for discussing the situation in my marriage. I think that
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to ruffle feathers and something different from what when I'm talking about purpose, because y'all know I talk about purpose work all the time. Show something different than and do something different, because I don't just do stuff for show. Show and doing something different from what we are accustomed to, which is us being accustomed to the woman, whether that's
Right.
because they need the money from the man, they don't want to get them upset because
Mm-hmm.
I need you to send me that cash out, whatever the case may be. But there were people who were like, "You wrong for that. You shouldn't be discussing what he's doing to you." And I would be like, "What?" And so now continuing to be me, what I was out the gate, which is
Real.
transparent and honest and real and standing up for myself. And no, you ain't about to just play over me. People don't
Right.
like it. Some people don't like it. Um, you're not going to disrespect me. You're not going to not respect my boundaries, right? And I think as women, um, we have to show each other what being
Right.
having dignity looks like and what it's like to stand up for yourself and not just lay down and keep taking the hits and 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 just brushing it off like you can do whatever you want to do and treat me however you want to treat me. I'm gonna be the
That's
bigger
right.
person. How about no? How about I'm gonna set these boundaries and this is what it is and
Exactly.
I'm gonna stand on that.
Exactly.
How about that?
And I had messaged you
So
earlier about your song, and I told you I got it on repeat. I'm here in the hospital with my daughter, so we've been listening to it all day.
uh-huh.
So, and your range, you really went high this time. So I'm glad you showing the little naysayers who be wanting to say stuff that you can sing, girl. You can sing.
Thank you so much. I that was the thing. I think that, and of course, me getting more comfortable going in the studio and singing, I wanted to really show. That's what I wanted to do was show my range, show what my capabilities vocally, and I challenged myself with that one and had fun with it at the same time. So
Mm-hmm.
she's talking about Never Really Cared. For any of you who don't know, I released a song on Saturday morning, Never Really Cared. So go to your iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify,
That's
wherever you
right.
need a title, wherever you want to
Oh, we
party. So
appreciate
I
you.
appreciate
So
y'all
just
so much.
keep being Melody, keep inspiring women. You know, I watch your page. I saw this just this morning that some lady said that song gave her the courage to leave a 6-year bad relationship. So you changing lives. Don't worry about what them
Yeah.
naysayers say. Oh, you should have did this. You should have did that. No, you keep showing up and you keep doing things the way you doing them because you are touching people all over this world. And you about to be an international runway model, girl. You better keep showing out. You better keep showing
Thank
out
you,
because I love it.
man. Street diet around
You,
here. Listen,
I remember
that
that.
was, you
Body
remember
so don't worry
that?
about it. You
Yeah.
got it all. You got it all. Just keep doing what you're doing. We love
Yeah.
you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for coming
Always,
today. We
always. All right.
appreciate you,
God bless.
sis.
Okay.
Okay,
All right. Mhm.
bye bye. Yeah, let's see. She was so sweet. Was she sweet? No, but for real, I am about to be on such a strict diet. That's all. Listen, but I know y'all know I'm gonna do it. Don't worry, I'm gonna cut back. I'm gonna do that thing. I'm gonna be working out. I'm gonna be doing all of that. Sing Never Really Cared. Yes, come on, never. Listen. I have listened to it over and over. The song is lit. Thank you so much. Oh, thank y'all. Let me see. It's a lot of y'all requesting to come in here today. I think I'm gonna probably do like 3 or 4 more people. That's what I think I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do like 3 or 4 people. Let me see. I don't think I want to listen. You know, I've been listening to people all day. Let me see. Did I click? I think I clicked right. I love the song. Thank you. Y'all and tell people about it. Like, hey, y'all need to go download Melody Shari's new song. Never Really Cared. Okay, let them know. Let them know. The link is in my bio. So if you click Linktree, if you click that on there, it'll take you to all my different links. Let's see. So that person wasn't available because I know I clicked for her to join. I wonder if I can do multiple people at a time. Let me see. I'm about to see if I can do multiple people at a time. This is your season, Mel. Thank you. God is good. God is so good. And the way his blessings are set up, look, I'm just thankful. See, I clicked accept. Let's see. Hold on one second. So I just said add Miss Kara Morrell. I don't see her in here asking to join. Let me see. No, I don't see her in here asking to join though. I might have to hold the accept button down. Let's see. We got to figure it out. Okay, let me try to accept somebody else and see if they can come up. Okay, so no, he's unable to join. Okay, so I tried to. Okay, so he's unable to join. Let me see.
I'm on live. I'll talk to y'all in a minute.
Try to accept somebody else and see if they can.
Oh, hey.
Okay, so no, he's unable to join. Okay, so I tried.
Mel.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I need a multiple
Hey,
people at a
Melody.
time. Hey, y'all.
Good.
How y'all doing?
Oh, so this the first time we get 3 people on. Come on now. I think it's like 4.
What do you go up to? This gonna be fun. Okay.
What did you think about last night's episode? Because at first when I saw your tweets, man, I was like, I hope she's not mad, but at the same time, you don't want to just read into something to be so negative. I'm like, are you okay?
Mm-hmm. What did you think I might have been bad about?
Mostly the editing. I kind of think because like you said that your mother was around and they didn't really capture her that much. It's hard to sit and say that this season is not a regurgitation of last season when I constantly, well, I'm gonna say me, maybe some of the followers feel the same way. It's like, it doesn't seem to be good in your favor, if that makes sense. It seemed like it's always something to try to get what Melody has. Like, for example, people act like when you say stuff about business, like they don't understand. Okay, there's a fee, there's management, proper protocol. You have to go through these people just to make this work. And it's like people don't understand that that relationship isn't there. So why should I trust you to want to do something for free?
So what I would say to that really quickly first, there's hopefully there should be another meeting airing. So I'm not gonna speak too much on that yet because there should be another meeting. We had another one, so let's see if it airs maybe next week or the week after. So I'm not.
You said what now? Okay.
So I'm not gonna say too much just yet.
Are you
there should be another one.
Ma'am?
I'm always hopeful. Like I live life hopeful. My life is hope. I'm always hopeful. Like I'm never that person. I don't just throw in the towel easily or just like I'm a person of faith.
Now I did
always
enjoy seeing you and Dunn together, and congratulations on your lead role in the movie. I can't wait to hear more about that and your new single. Love that. I got a question. Are we ever going to see a collaboration with you on someone?
In music? So, I haven't even been filming my music on the show. So if you noticed last season, like 2022, I didn't film my music on the show and I haven't filmed it. The last music I filmed was when you guys did, I did a video party, remember? And in the video release party.
Okay, well, I'm gonna let this beautiful lady right here go ahead and ask you some questions because I don't want to take over. So, go, love.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming on today.
Hello. You might have to get me out of this one.
Let me see. Y'all know how? Okay, let me see.
Hi, Mel.
All right. Hey.
I don't have a lot to say, but I just wanted to just tell you how proud I am of you, how encouraging you are. I've been in your shoes many, many years ago, and I mustered the strength to get out. I shared with a couple of ladies that may be on this live right now earlier this week that my niece, a couple of years ago, her mother was unalived by a jealous ex. And it was just riveting. And some of the things that we're seeing being displayed is very triggering. And, I just keep you in my prayers and just know that you are so loved. You are so loved. And the whole world has watched you burn. And it's time for us to watch you shine. And I shine on, girl. I love you. And I want the best for you, those beautiful babies, your entire family. That's all. I just wanted to give you my love and just say how proud I am of you.
You said your niece's mom? Oh my goodness. So sorry to hear that. And we'll be praying for you and your family. I know it has to still be very much so a lot to deal with. Because, you never expect it until it happens,
little
right?
Girls without
And I think
she's an adult, but her two sisters, the youngest one, it was her father and her mother. And after he unalived the mother, he took his own life in front of the middle daughter, who was only 12. So, my niece is the oldest, and they all had different fathers, but they all lost their mother that day. And the youngest one lost her mother and her father. So this is nothing to play with, and thank God that I didn't have that experience, although I had the other side of it where my ex impregnated. I think I shared that a little bit with you in my DM, your DM, that he impregnated his coworker, during a 12-year marriage. So I know where you are. I know, where, the possibilities of where you can go, and just shine, keep going, shine. We're for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you for coming on and sharing, for real. I appreciate that.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodness, honey, listen. Ooh. That wasn't that sad. I think, I'll be honest with you, I get a lot of DMs. A lot of DMs of like real life situations and real life stories from women, whether it was them directly or women who were friends of theirs or family members of theirs. And I do. I really do. And what I will say is that there's nothing wrong with, and it doesn't mean you're bitter. It doesn't mean you're angry. It doesn't mean you want to hurt nobody. But unfortunately, that's what people think when you set boundaries. And that's what people think whenever you know, are standing up for yourself. It got to be something. You got to be bitter. No, I'm not. But I'm definitely okay with setting boundaries. I did that by leaving. That was the first thing I showed then. Like, you know, ladies, you don't have to sit around and let nobody just talk to you any kind of way and do anything to you and still let them think they're supposed to be all up and in through your space in your life. Like, no, you don't. You don't. Somebody said maybe you can have a talk show to bring all these stories. Now y'all better stop because I can't speak too much on that. But yeah, you say good. No, I was saying. No, I was, but yeah, I can't. Y'all be. It seems like y'all be knowing what be going on behind the scenes, suggesting that. Okay, let's see.
It is not, girl. You know, I've been on here before we talked, remember?
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I know you're from the YouTube streets because everybody's always sending me DMing me your links,
girl.
Okay? Talking about people.
I'll be over there acting out, checking out for you over there. You know I do.
Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Good. I just wanted to kind of touch bases on the episode. For the most part, I do feel like there should be some changes in terms of casting. I think that would be a little bit better in terms of the show. I think a lot of people, because I like to read comments to see what other people think in terms of what's going on the show. I think kind of changing the cast up a little bit to kind of make it a little bit more fresh and new. I would like to see more of you and your mom interacting. I would like to see you guys maybe doing like a trip. You know how Real Housewives of Atlanta, not to say that you guys should do what they're doing, but it would be refreshing to see you guys maybe do a cast trip. Because I don't think y'all guys did one since what, season 1, 2, 3, 4, when you guys went to the cabin or something like that. So that would be refreshing to see something nice for you guys to kind of get out of that atmosphere of Huntsville, to kind of see if that would kind of give a better outlook of the show to where people won't, you know, be saying, oh, it's boring, or I'm tired of this same, you know, storyline of this person or that person. Vegas.
Don't forget we went to Vegas.
How could I forget? How could I forget Vegas? Because that was kind of triggering too. But yeah, for the most part, this episode, I gave it maybe like a 80 as a rating. But like I said, I would like to see more of your mom on the show because I do talk to her a lot.
Well, support system through you know, through all of this. So
is there a reason why they cut her on this actual episode?
I have no idea, honestly. I didn't know until I watched it because, you know, I was live tweeting. So I tried, when I'm live tweeting and watching the show, I try to, whatever comes to my mind or I'm thinking then when I'm watching, I try to hurry up and tweet it out. When I watched it and I realized it, I was like, you know what I'm saying?
Like,
so
I
really,
but then you didn't see her, like in the little section where you were talking to Martell, and then that was like it. So I would like to see her kind of interacting with the party and just with you.
Yeah, she had some conversations with people at the party. She had a conversation with me at the party. Whenever we sang happy birthday, because it was both girls, because the next week would have been like Boss Baby's birthday, I think. 21st is the 7th. And so I do it, you know, I did it together because I knew I wouldn't have her then. Or did it? Anyway, it was something, but so I did it together. So long story short, she was there next to her while we were singing to Mariah, and then we did Aunt Malia. I don't know. I have no idea. I think that, you know, people appreciate her positivity that she brings, her calmness that she brings, and the class that she brings. You know, she's not problematic. Not problematic. She ain't about to start nothing. To you, but she ain't, you know, she's not one of them who's gonna be all up in your face and starting anything. That's not her. And maybe that's why.
She's real classy and stern at the same time. Like, she'll down like a corporate read, kind of like I like to call it corporate. But like I said, for the most part, I'm enjoying the show. I mean, the episodes so far. I think it could be a little bit better, a little more interesting in terms of making the viewers feel like they're getting a little bit more out of the season, rather.
How do you feel like you're not getting anything out of it?
More. I think it could be better. I think better in terms of the storylines, in terms of what casts are actually sharing. Because I feel like it's kind of recycled storylines. So I think it could be a little bit more fresh, if we could say that. In terms of even because we want the viewers to be like, oh, okay, that's what's going on. Okay, I can get with that. So yeah, I think people want to watch the show, but they want to see fresh storylines this season. Because like with them bringing in Stormy, I think a lot of people were saying that it was a recycled storyline of Destiny being on the show. So I don't know.
Okay, so more. It's just more. Somebody said more business. Okay, and you said new cast.
Switch up the cast, and I'm not trying to be mean when I say it. I just feel like certain people aren't really bringing it this season in terms of us kind of sitting back and watching. I think we would like to see some new faces. I think that would help out.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't choose who makes the show. I don't choose. My battery paused me, but I don't choose that. I make suggestions, or just from people that I may know who are like, hey, I would like to be on the show, but at the end of the day, that's not my final call. So there's like a whole team, I'm sure, who does casting and interviews and decides who comes on the show.
Like
I'm not a part of
like recording in the studio. I would like to see some scenes from that. I would like.
What? So that's what somebody else just mentioned, actually. So for me, I came out when I started doing my music. I did put it on the show, and then when I came to the knowledge that someone else was wanting to do their music on the show, I want people to try to pit us against each other when it came to that. So I fell back. Like, I don't have a problem following. Like, anybody who really knows me knows I'll be like, nah. I ain't gonna let that be.
Well, that problem worked itself out. So, girl, you can go on in there and sing now. No.
I am considering when we start back filming and do the second half of the season, I am considering, letting my music come back, into my
some
story.
Stuff like behind the scenes, if you're doing some stuff for Jay Bolin, we'd like to maybe see you doing some fittings and stuff. I love stuff like that. I love stuff like that.
Yeah. We're working on that. Then we're working. It's a whole legal piece with that, but we're working on that. So yeah, we are. We're trying to make all of that happen. Yeah.
I mean, I ride it down my channel for you.
I already and tell them to download Never Really Care and put it on repeat. They can turn the volume down if they over it.
I already went to iTunes last night when I heard that the song was out. Okay, let me go check this song out. Yeah, I already went over there. I already been on iTunes. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Have a good day, okay?
All right, bye-bye.
Hey, you too. Okay. All right, let's see who else trying to come on here. I think I'm gonna do one more person. Hold on. Okay, she's gone. Let's see now. I'm trying to find somebody I've not had up here before. Okay. Y'all know what? Let me see, I'm trying. Hold on. I'm gonna try to do 2 people on this last one. This is gonna be the last one. I gotta get to packing. Never Really Cared is my jam. Listen. Hey. That part. Hi.
Can you hear me? I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing Sunday. I've had a great time. My family just left and went back home.
I'm doing my Sunday chores, cleaning up a little bit. So I saw you popped on.
I did that yesterday. Yesterday morning, I got those kids up, honey. We went through clothes, did 5 big bags of stuff we donate in, got closets together, drawers together. We did all
take you too long. One of the things that I wanted to say is, one, I do enjoy the show. Absolutely, 100%. I enjoy the show. But I have to agree with everybody who's already spoken and talked a little bit about how triggering Martell is on the show. So many of us have experiences with DV. Or if we don't have direct experiences with DV, we know someone who's a survivor of DV, and his behavior is alarming. And it feels as if, I don't know if Carlos is aware, like how dangerous or how quickly something like this can really escalate into sort of like violence. And so I think that's what a lot of us are really concerned about. Like, is he going to escalate at some point of violence? I think you do a really wonderful job, Mel, to be professional. You set your boundaries. Girl, I don't know how you are so polite and kind all the time. I would have wigged out a long time ago and probably got put off that show. But it's just alarming. And I don't really understand why season after season after season, we all sort of go through this vicarious trauma watching you navigate and negotiate this narcissist. Like, he's dangerous as far as I'm concerned. And what happened this particular episode reminds me of the other episode. I don't know if you guys were technically divorced yet or you were just divorced, but he showed up at your new home. You had the babies with you and you guys got into this sort of back and forth in your driveway. Do you remember that scene? I was just like, oh my God. Like, where's security? Like, security? Like, why didn't they stop him on the street and be like, no, you cannot do this? And I saw you were activated. I saw you trying to sort of, self-regulate yourself in that moment. And that's another kind of try. So anyway, I say all of that to say I adore the show. I love watching you, your babies. Oh my God, your babies. Love watching them. But I feel like Carlos needs to speak to a DV expert and get some kind of, counseling or some kind of support so he can really understand how to manage somebody like Martell. Because Martell to me is unhinged and dangerous and I don't like it. But anyway, enough about him.
What I will say is I've had those type of conversations. And I'll be honest with you, even after this happened, because I didn't want any drama at my kid's birthday party. I wanted it to be fun. Everybody have a good time. Of course, a lot of my family came in town for the party. A lot of my village was there at the party. And that's not a fit because of everything, like you're saying, triggering and everything people know that has transpired. The energy would have been all the way off. Like all the way off. You ain't just gonna be talking about people and doing things to people they love and think that they gonna smile in your face and skate with you for camera time. It's just not what it is. So I had already said, hey, not doing this, not going. I had a whole phone call before that, before the party started, when I realized what was going on. Like, no, y'all can leave, okay? Because I didn't want. Despite what people think, I didn't want drama. I didn't want it to turn into a Melody and Martell conversation and showdown at my kids' party. So I was saying, what are y'all doing? I said this is a no. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. I got into a real heated back and forth with some producers on the show. I did. Y'all don't see that because the cameras didn't get that. But I mean, I was going on. My mama had to calm me down and was like, Melody. And I was like, I don't give a damn. We ain't doing this today. Because I wanted it to be a positive thing for all my family, my friends, and my kids. Like, I wanted to be a good, positive thing. And sometimes it is a lot. I will say this though. After that incident, it did become where if I have to film or if certain people are around, security needs to be there. And they made that happen.
And that's wonderful. So I think, and I sort of assume that anyway. There's so much that we don't see that happens behind the fourth wall. Like, we only see, these little clips. So I assumed that there were all these conversations that you were having with people behind the scenes. But even that feels to me wrong, because that, again, puts the onus and responsibility on you to manage somebody who's not being a responsible adult. So yeah, like, it's just wrong. And I hope Carlos will take the necessary and proper, I know you are, but I hope he also does it too, as somebody who's responsible for you all in this show. And then he meets with experts. He meets with people who can talk to him a little bit about what are some of the warning signs? What are some of the things that you need to be paying attention to? Do you need people who can be on set or be around when you know that there's a scene where the two of you need to film together, so that you guys have that extra support? Because it's just not okay. And the rates of violence against, DV in the Black community is higher than any other community. And so I feel like I want to see him take that more seriously, because many of us have very similar stories to you, and we're being re-traumatized. This is sort of vicarious trauma, sort of watching you kind of live through this with your ex, and it's awful. But the other thing I was thinking about, like when I saw you sitting at the table with your A team, I was like, this is the stuff we need to see. Like, we need to see Melanie being a boss. We need to see you in your element. We need to see the business side of you, the acumen. We saw that in the beginning when the show first launched, and we saw you sort of, making your $1 million deals, whatever the case may be. We need to see more of that. And I feel like having Martell on the show pulls you back into the drama of having to deal with your narcissistic ex-husband who can't get over the divorce. So, going to Dubai, watching you record your music, even the housing preservation stuff. So I got my PhD during the pandemic. I have a PhD in social work, but I've been interested in real estate for a really long time. I work with incarcerated and formerly incarcerated women. I'm interested in getting into that field. When I get my coins together, I want to take your class. It would be nice to see you working with your students and doing more of that kind of work, and maybe even you prepping for your class. Stuff that really highlights, one, how brilliant you are, because we already know it, but we want to see more of it. And having Martell around, I feel like is a distraction. So we love you, and I adore you.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I can tell you, we'll see if it airs. I did film a scene where some of my students flew into town and came in, and we had a class. But I also filmed that a year ago that didn't make it. So we'll see if it makes it this year. I can say I'm trying to do my part of just continuing to be straight up and straightforward with what I'm doing, what I have going on, and I'm doing. But I'm not in the editing room, right? I'm not. So I don't get to choose that. But yeah, like I said, I understand that the show has definitely been a roller coaster, like I said, and it does pull in emotions. So what I want and what I hope for is that the show what I feel like y'all fell in love with, I'll say that in the beginning when Love and Marriage High School came out, was feeling like you were watching a show that was real, that was authentic, right? And if we move away from that, then we lose what people fell in love with. And then that's an issue.
I see them talking about y'all. So let me go and fix my wig.
They just cutting up on Sunday, girl. They just want to. I'm like, that's nice. All right, thank you. Let me see. Hold on. I'm trying to. Did it remove her? Okay. Now look, y'all. Quit cutting up on Sunday, trying to get y'all some laughs in. Okay, I'm gonna do one last person, then we're gonna get out of here. Let's see. The wig don't make a person. It show don't at all. Okay, focus on the message. Whole message. Y'all was focused on the wrong thing. Y'all know I done did that on the live. I went into a whole.
Hey Mel, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Sorting these orders, getting ready to
I'm
start
good. I
packing.
can't complain. First off, song is amazing. Okay, it is a bop. Like it is a whole bop. I love the song. Love it. Have it on repeat. And I have to post it, and I will. Also, congratulations on the contract that you signed. like the last caller just said, love to see the business part of it, of the show. You know, you making deals.
Yeah.
Honestly, if everybody was making deals, I would love to see that part of it. So I love that for you. Congratulations. Um, doing big things, big things. So that's what's up. What was I going to say? So I'm sorry, my daughter made me lose my train of thought. My kids are running around here. I'm trying to escape them and they keep following me. Yeah, so you know, I rewatched the IG live you did with Dr. Derica. Beautiful. Oh my gosh, like that touched my heart so much. Like it was like it brought me to tears. Yeah. And like I caught some of it when you were actually live, and then I went back and rewatched it. So first off, thank you for even having it up there to rewatch. And going through your own situations, and I don't know whether you can, you know, or even care to touch on it, but you know, oftentimes we see you as strong and we see you as someone who doesn't look like doesn't look like she breaks often, you know. Was it tough, or can you give us a moment where you kind of pushed through something that most people may not know about?
Okay. So that what I've been witnessing. First of all, let me say this: Derica's live is absolutely amazing, and I'm so glad.
Yes.
Believer that in sharing our testimonies and sharing our stories, that is how we encourage and help someone else, living our truths out loud, because we have been taught for so long to hold things in and keep things in and keep things behind closed doors and keep things in our house.
Yes.
Helping anyone and everything that people are dealing with and going through, and sharing, going through, you know what I mean? But something that I literally had to push through, and I'm not going to go into much detail about this, but I will say there was an incident / time when I literally found myself, and I'm going to try to word it in a way where y'all don't figure it out because y'all know me. Smart.
Right.
But there was a time when I had to push through and muster up the strength where there was an incident that occurred. And see, even taking me, like even me going back there.
Yes.
Kind of. And when you think you're strong, and you can be strong, but that doesn't mean that you also don't have weak moments or moments that are tough for you. And I remember my inner circle saying to me, Melody, you got to do something. You have to do something. And as the day went on, I'm being careful with how I say it. As the day went on, I mustered up the strength to go do what needed to be done. And I remember sitting before a person in authority, sharing to them what had transpired.
Yeah.
And it took a lot to do that. It took me a lot to even go. And I remember feeling though like you got to do it. You have sitting there in front of this man and sharing what's happening or what happened, and them literally just looking at me while I'm talking, to the point like just looking at me. I immediately text my attorney that person's name because I was like, we did a stare down. We did a whole closer down. Because he said, who are you texting? And I said, my attorney. Because I couldn't believe the response I was getting for reporting this to this man. And because I'm feeling like, let me calm down. Who is this? Let me sing this name
documentation.
To my
Absolutely.
So we did both stare down, and I refused to turn my head. I refused to blink. I refused, because you're gonna hear that I felt. And when it was all said and done, I probably looked at this white guy for probably, I would say it was about 2 seconds where I stared back at him, not to intimidate me. I said what happened, and this is what it is. So after that, after I stood my ground and looked back at him, he signed off on what happened. And when I walked out, I remember I can't remember who it was I called, but I called one of my inner circle people, and I just down crying. I remember crying. I remember feeling like, if this is what women are having to deal with and go through whenever they literally trying to like stand up, and if this what women having to go through, this is terrible, because I felt like and this is me, because I was like, you know what, I was thinking, girl, just forget it. I ain't gonna lie, for a minute I was thinking, like, because of how
treating
looking
you,
at me and treating me, I was like, just forget it. But I was like, oh, no, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna tell this, and he's gonna do something. And I called, and I'm crying because I said, imagine the women who ain't as strong as I am, or the women who don't have the to be able to know that I can do something if you fail to do what needs to be done. I felt it like for my sisters, you know what I'm saying? I felt like, even no more in that moment. Wow, is this what women have to go through when they like? Is this what they're met with? Is this type of attitude, this type of energy?
Right.
Are you serious?
Wow.
So yeah, I had my times where my strength was tested, and I had to muster up strength.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much for even sharing that story. That's like, you hit the nail on the head. A lot of people, they have to deal with these things. And a lot of people, they're not as strong. And sometimes we have to be strong for other people. We go through, like you said, oftentimes if we don't talk about what we've gone through, people won't know how to get through it. So, like I always say, there's no testimony without a test. So it's like, in order to give your testimony and say how you overcame, so, other people need to hear that, to know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. And I mean, I ask all that just because I know the situation, this last episode had been very triggering for a lot of people. And, I've seen a lot of testimonies of people feeling like, you helped them through so much, so, it's right, Chit Chat, protect Black women. But yeah, it's crazy to hear all the stuff that people go through and see now firsthand. And, it's tough. But I thank you for even sharing that story. That's tough.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure whenever I feel like it, I'll go into it all. But I definitely had my time where my strength was tested, and I had walk up. No, you look back at him, you stand your ground, right?
Yeah.
And I
wow.
I see part of it was not.
Yeah.
Um, we appreciate it. Thank you. It's always
Yeah,
a
you
pleasure.
that your story helps a lot of people. So we thank you. We see how strong you are in a lot of the stuff that you go through. And yeah, just keep standing strong. You know that we got your back. You are a light to a lot of people. So
Thank you so much. And let me tell you this really quickly. Well, I'll
okay,
tell you when I take you off, and then I'm gonna end it.
no
Thank you for
problem.
coming, girl. Y'all, that was coming in. Thank y'all for everybody who's bought a badge today. Thank you. Before I get ready to go, so y'all got me on my nose run because y'all had me tearing up over here. It's just something about when you take yourself back and remember and talk about certain things that were just very much so, yeah. But anyway, let's move from that. So I want to say that I know that a lot of people, like I said, were triggered, and the episode was a lot. I try to be as calm as possible. I try my best to still put my boundaries and stuff in place, but also try to be respectful as much as I can and try to be calm. And before I leave, I'm gonna tell y'all this because I had this conversation with my family yesterday and some this morning too. The reason I try so hard to be calm, okay? The reason I try so hard to be calm is because I'm afraid of when I'm not. When my anxiety kicks in, it's usually because, y'all hear me? When my anxiety clicks in, it's usually because I'm afraid of what I'm going to do. And that's just the honest to God truth. So I work really hard to be calm because I know the other end of that ain't gonna be pretty. My battery went out. The other side of that ain't gonna be pretty at all. Like, it's just not gonna be good at all. Like, not at all. Hold on. Okay, come on, I'm coming. Go up there. I'll come put you on there. I'm coming. So y'all, she's gotta go potty now. But that's why. That's why. So that's why you see me trying, to be calm. But I'm gonna go take care of my pumpkin. But I love y'all. Thank y'all for coming on today. We've had some good combo today. Hope somebody took something from it, learned something, gained something. It's all about sharing and helping each other. So with that being said, happy Sunday. I love y'all. And I hope y'all have an amazing rest of the day. Go get your 7th Avenue 30% off Mom 30 millimeter shirts. Never really cared. We up this weekend. They be saying city girls up. We up 1,000. They -5. But no, I love y'all. Happy Sunday. Until next